Conlan, you you ever have one of those moments where you think you're pouring some mustard or whatever on your hot dog, but it's actually your beer?
No,
Me neither.
because mustard's disgusting, and I also don't eat hot dogs.
But you did not deny drinking beer, so
I wasn't going to.
you're goddamn right. How's it going?
Going okay.
We're live, by the way, for the first time in like 6 months.
Actually, that's pretty accurate.
Maybe I'll put some crazy effects on the screen or something, or like a woo, some happy noises. Just kidding. I probably won't do any of that. Oh, how does it feel to be back, Conlan? It only took 6 months.
Only.
Only. I'd like to formally apologize to all my viewers, even the ones who unsubscribed. I know some of you did, but that's kind of my fault anyway.
I
So,
can't say I blame them.
yeah, I was gonna say, I understand. But today we got a wacky one for you. This one's definitely interesting. So I don't know if we're gonna make this into a series, but I'm calling this episode "This Dude in History." You got to meet this dude in history. I mean, he's pretty wacky. His born name was Thomas Corbett, but he's most famously known as Boston Corbett. What did he do, you might be asking? He shot John Wilkes Booth, the man who killed Abraham Lincoln. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But that's really not even the most interesting thing about his story. This guy was actually kind of crazy, so we're gonna hop into that. Now, Conlan, I think you know a little bit about this guy, right? Yeah. So I did a bunch of research, and by that I mean I read the whole Wikipedia page. So I got a lot for you. This should fill up the time quite well, you could say. So this dude, born in January of 1832, so a long time ago. I mean, he's born in London too. That's gross. I'm sorry. I mean, London in 1832.
I,
Seriously.
yeah, okay, I guess that's a fair point.
What was nice about that? You had kids dying because they were being chimney sweeps and breathing in carbon all day. You got people like this kid being born who's gonna go and be crazy.
You
Anyway,
know, I don't know if you can really call him crazy, considering he did kill the person that kind of shot a president.
um, we'll get into that because that's not all
I
he
mean,
did.
he probably was crazy, but I guess you can give him that at the least.
So, bump ahead, 8 years later, his family went to New York, which a lot of people did around this time, right? A bunch of people were moving to America because city of country of dreams or something. So, and they moved to New York, so
What
lots
year
of
was this?
opportunity. 1840.
Oh, 1840. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not quite in any wars yet for once. America was actually kind of in peace, I think. Probably.
We basically hit like 3 wars in a row within the span of like less than 50 years.
Yeah, but we're we haven't gotten there yet. So that's good. I mean, it's peacetime in America. Nothing wrong with that. So apparently, the family moved around New York. They didn't really like the city. I mean, I don't think anyone really did. It was probably grosser than London, actually. There was no
Who
trash
fucking
system.
knows?
Huh?
Who fucking knows? I mean, New York still isn't. It's still kind of disgusting now.
You're that's right. I'll stay out of there. Um, I don't think any big city was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the 1840s. Compared to now, it was anything really nice?
Yeah, you got a point. So eventually they settled down in this town called Troy. Um, I don't know when exactly. The Wikipedia page didn't say. I also read one article too, so I didn't just get this off Wikipedia, just for the record. Um, so while he was in Troy, he was an apprentice to a hatter or a milliner. Do you know what that is? I'll take that as a no.
I said no.
Oh, it didn't even go through. You were just silent on
Damn.
my. um,
Damn.
they make hats. You know how hats were back then. They're kind of
They
crazy.
were all over the place.
Yeah, they're covered in exotic feathers that'd probably be illegal today or extinct.
Or both.
So he was an apprentice to a hatter, so he learned a lot about making hats and stuff. One of the chemicals they use to treat fur that makes nice felt on hats. One of the chemicals they use is called mercury nitrate. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you know anything about mercury, but it's like really bad for you.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to like ingest it or anything, but
Mercury's also in lobster, and I swear people eat that like left and right. And
well, it's in small amounts in fish and lobster and stuff.
yeah.
But it's still in it. Don't get me wrong. You shouldn't like eat fish forever. I mean, who would do that? Could you imagine?
You would be
Only
surprised. We
fish.
live in Maine.
I'd be on the toilet half the time, probably all the
True.
time. So being exposed to these chemicals was really bad for you. So this gave Thomas at the time some issues.
Probably mercury poisoning.
Excessive exposure to the compound can lead to hallucinations, psychosis, and twitching, known as the Hatter's shakes.
Yeah,
So this
mercury
stuff,
poisoning.
yeah, this stuff screwed you up. You did not want to be a hat maker, apparently. They must have made good money.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know about that one, honestly.
I mean, how much were people going to pay for a custom hat?
I mean, you also got to account for inflation. So, how much would a hat it would have been, back then?
Yeah. I mean, I guess
Like
it
this is
depends on what they're made with.
this is like the mid to late 1800s. So, how much for hats then?
Let's see. I'm going to look it up. How much was a... I'm going to write fancy hat, 1840s. How much did a beaver hat cost? Oh, yeah, that's the hat right there. A beaver hat. That's pretty fancy. It's covered in feathers and stuff. A beaver hat was... Hang on. I don't know shillings. We're going to have to do some crazy conversions here. A fine beaver hat. Oh, here we go. In 1827, a men's beaver hat sold in Connecticut was between $5 and $8. So we'll go to time, or was it inflation calculator?
I'm pretty sure that was a lot. That's like a lot of money now.
So the farthest back I can go. Oh, here we go. Enter the amount of money it was. We'll do $7. $7 in the year 1840 to the year 2020. That is, oh, that's a $184 hat.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that would have been a lot.
Wow. Yeah, that is.
That's like a hat made by Gucci now.
Yeah, that's a really nice hat.
Could you imagine if Gucci existed then and sold shit for the same price as it is now, but like 200 years ago?
The Gucci hat, no one would buy it.
No one could.
No one could afford it. Everyone would. There'd be like literally only like kings and queens or countries' rulers could afford that.
Yeah.
That'd be it. Or like super, super rich people.
Could you? I just thought about this. Can you imagine being a literal millionaire in 1840?
I mean,
Like, imagine you have all of that. Imagine how much that's just worth now.
oh my god. If you, well,
These kids, like these people's great grand, like their great grandchildren won't have to work a day in their life.
oh, probably not. If there's enough money to go down, yeah. Or, I mean, back then, I'm pretty sure in the 1840s, property was still a huge deal.
Yeah.
If you had lots of land, you were probably rich.
Yeah, well, that's probably because then that was expensive.
Even now, I mean, it's not cheap, but
Yeah, facts.
if you wanted to, if you had a bunch of land, you were probably going to farm it.
Yeah,
And if you
probably.
have more land, that means more you can sell because you're growing more plants.
And the more you sell, the more you earn.
Right. So I would imagine if I mean more property is more you're rich. So where were we? Oh,
The psychosis.
yeah, historians have theorized that the mental issues Corbett exhibited before and after the Civil War were caused by the exposure. He has a couple moments that we're going to talk about.
I mean, okay, first off, hallucinating, that sucks. Like, I've had that happen when I like get like when I get really sick from like a cold or some shit. I'll hallucinate, and trust me, that is not fun.
What do you see?
Um, I can't really name anything off the top of my head. Um, but it's not fun. I remember I had it when I had pneumonia when I was 5. Apparently, um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not fun.
Saw some wacky stuff. Well, apparently
Yeah.
that was happening to this guy on a semi-regular basis. So,
Okay, that on an occasional basis sucks. On a regular basis, that's like the fucking mental
it's like,
hospital patient.
man, we're making some crazy hats today. Let's get all the feathers on this. So,
I'm wearing a fucking chicken for a hat.
yeah. So I
The
guess,
fact that he had all of that and still served 4 years in the American Civil War is a little shocking.
well, he kind of did. I'll tell you about that. So he goes back to New York City later, and he gets married, but his wife died giving birth. Oof.
Ooh.
Like both of them died, the baby and the wife.
Yeah, that's generally how it goes.
So he had a pretty rough. Yeah, if the mother's dying, the baby's probably definitely dying.
On certain occasions, it's not always the case. But anywho,
So yeah, she died. He picked up drinking, as you do in the 1840s or probably
that's a
50s
thing
by now.
now.
Yeah. Well, these were like
Like
some.
I feel like that's a common trend. Like once somebody's wife dies, they just go fucking, they're like, "Yo, drink."
I mean, can you blame him? It's a
I can't
terrible
say I
thing.
necessarily blame them, but it's still not, the best thing to do.
Oh no, it sucks that that has to be the way that it goes, or the way that they chose it to go. But yeah, he picks up drinking. He goes to Massachusetts for some reason. God knows why. I wish I could tell you. So he goes to Mass, probably to become a real Massachusetts person. I mean, he's already picked up drinking. He's insane. That's pretty much every Massachusetts resident. So I guess he was moving to where he belonged. So while he was there, he was going down the street one day, and some Methodist reformers got him interested in God instead of alcohol. They came up to him.
If that's not the most cliche thing ever. Oh, I was ruining my life,
Yeah,
and then God saved me.
yeah, he's in his time of troubles. Some Methodists came up to him and were like, "Hey, you need
I see that
God.
all the time.
You need
I
God in
see it
your
all the
life."
time. Yeah.
So if there was TV, Conlan, he'd definitely be a spokesperson. I'm Thomas Corbett, and I swear to God, the Methodist Church saved my life. I was drinking, my wife died, not related, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That'd be terrible. Be like, I was drinking, then my wife died. I was like, she didn't die because of me drinking. I didn't kill her.
I mean,
Started drinking because she died.
yeah. So, so yeah, this was in Boston, Massachusetts, and so when this happens, he's like, you know what? I love this city so much. I'm so insane. I changed my name to Boston. He changed his name to Boston.
What? Who the hell changes their name to fucking Boston?
I don't know. I would have picked a better city, but that's not my choice. So he changes his name. Now his name is Boston Corbett. Kind of a cool name. I mean, Boston, it's not that bad of a name. Like, I've heard worse names.
Yeah, I have too. It's just so unconventional.
A city, yeah.
Like even back then, like there were some weird names then, but even Boston, I feel like that's considered weird.
So he's now a member of the Methodist Church. He's kicked the bottle. His wife's still dead, but he's doing better. Um,
I would hope that his wife was still dead. If she just came back in fucking necromancy, I'd be a little confused.
that would, yeah, that'd definitely be a wacky story. Not quite the case, but there's some. He's about to do something a little crazy, a little curveball, you could say. So Boston, he kicked the bottle. He's picked up a Bible, probably read it 10 times already. He's a strong believer in it. He's a Jesus freak. So one night he's walking down the street, probably in his robe and had his Bible in his hand. He's going down the street, and all of a sudden these prostitutes approach him, and they're like, "Hey, you want a good time?" Of course, this was 1840s, so I'm sure it was a fairly common sight to see a prostitute.
Yeah,
Boston,
probably.
he wasn't having any of that. He said no, and he's like, "You guys are terrible people," yada yada yada. Uh, he, he got all mad at him. But later that night, he went home or to his trash pile or wherever he was staying at the time, and he felt bad because he was tempted. He was tempted by it, by what they were saying, and he didn't like that. So you know what he did? He took to the Bible for answers, Conlan, and he read this. Read this quote right here. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. And there be eunuchs, which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. Something like that. Pretty much, if there's a problem, get rid of it, right? If there's a right eye offending thee, pluck it out and cast it away. So you know what he does? He castrates himself.
Excuse me?
I don't know how, but he castrated himself, yeah.
Um, that's different.
I, I, I don't. I think it worked. I, I don't know, like how. If he just grabbed a bottle of scotch, no, he didn't. He's not drinking anymore.
You know what? I don't even want to know how it's possible.
He had. If all right, let's say if he wasn't, as far as I know, he wasn't drinking anymore. So he didn't just chug a bunch of something and then go for it because he wouldn't feel it.
Nah, he probably just did it because he said fucked it.
Did he, like, was it with a knife?
I mean, I don't know.
A dirty 1850s knife?
You know what? It probably was. This man was fucking insane.
He probably saw, he probably saw God or something. And the God's like, all right, here's a knife, the holy knife. Go for it, kid.
That's just fucking crazy. And I mean, one thing I just read, he's been crazy in some good ways.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to say? I might cover it, but if you want to say
we'll get to it once we get to him joining the Union Army.
Okay, all right, that's coming up. So he castrates himself. I think it worked. He didn't get infected and die, so
that's a shocker.
I mean, yeah, I know. I'm kind of surprised. That probably should have been the end right there, but
he probably carved a fucking cross into himself.
Oh no, Jesus. So he castrates himself. In 1861, he decides to join the Union Army, all right? But he still keeps his religious ideals close to him. You know, he's joining, but you know, he's a pretty religious guy. He didn't even there was no draft. He chose to join, so it's not like he was forced to or anything. Like he didn't want to.
See, fucking crazy.
Like he joined knowing he was super religious,
Yeah.
but still, like he knew what was gonna happen and what his ideals were. He knew they would go against each other, but he still goes in.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So, Corbett would often scold fellow soldiers and superiors for using the Lord's name in vain. Could you imagine?
I'm not even surprised.
They're getting shot at, and a guy's like, "Jesus, we're pinned down." Corbett's like, "No, dude, hey, watch it. Watch your language. We do not use the Lord's name in vain."
So he was sent to a guardhouse for several days, but refused to apologize for anything that he did. And because of this, they decide, out of everything, they decide to court-martial him and sentence him to be shot.
Yes, okay, I have that.
But that was changed to being discharged.
Yep, in 1863.
Okay. So here's the part that I was gonna get to. So he re-enlists later, like a month as a private in Company L, right?
Yeah.
And so on June 24th, 1864, he gets captured by by a Confederate colonel, John Mosby. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He gets arrested, captured in Virginia, and he's held a prisoner at Andersonville prison for 5 months. And so apparently, while he was on his way there was something that happened. And this is what one of his prisoners gave as a statement. Okay, it says, there were about 1,000 prisoners who had arrived ahead of us. The train we were on unloaded our 1,000, making 2,000 in all. We were taken to an old pasture or common near the railroad tracks where a furrow was plowed around it for a deadline. There was a small stream of water close to the guard line, and the prisoners made a rush for it. Most of them had no water for many hours, but the guards kept them back. One of the more venturesome then the rest decided to got through the line and attempted to fill his canteen, but he was instantly shot in the arm with buckshot by one of the guards. And so, he was pushed back by a bunch of guys, and he laid under a tree, and the dude was suffering, he just got shot in the fucking arm, so he wanted water to ease his pain, but obviously he had none, which is what he was making a break for. This bitch Corbett decides to go out, walk all the way to the stream, fill his canteen, and give the dude the water. It's just fucking insane. After what just happened, he still does that.
He just walked past the guards.
Yeah, somehow he doesn't get shot, even though they're threatening to kill him. He doesn't get shot. Nothing happens. He gives this dude the water, and he goes right back into the ranks. Nothing happens.
What?
Yeah. And then he was released in exchange in November.
Wow. What a Chad. What?
Apparently oh my god, he suffered scurvy, which that fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a disease that results from a lack of vitamin C.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but without treatment, it can decrease your red blood cells, and then it gives you it could give you crazy gum disease.
Oh, he probably had no teeth.
Oh, probably. He was also, yeah, probably not.
Probably didn't have teeth.
And then he obviously was malnourished. I feel like that could happen in any time somebody was captured in virtually any wars that have happened.
Yeah, that's true. So, can we call him a Chad?
I don't know whether to call him a Chad, whether to call him stupid, whether to just call him crazy, whether I don't know. He kind of probably saved that guy's life, but
we'll try to figure it out at the end.
But this dude, I'm just I feel like I have to say crazy. What person? I'm sorry, I see someone in front of me just get shot for stepping out of rank. I don't care who they are.
Oh, I'm not moving.
Very, very, very few select people would I step out of line to go help.
Yeah.
If it's just some random ass person I've never met, fuck that. No, I'm all set.
Yeah. No.
I ain't risking shot in the arm myself or just getting shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, he stepped out of line. That's his fault.
Yeah. No, thank you.
So, so November 1864, he gets released on a prisoner exchange.
Yep.
So now here we are. He's out of the war. He's been discharged. He re-enlisted. They let him re-enlist. He goes to prison. He comes out of the prison.
You know, I bet very shortly after getting captured, he really began to regret re-enlisting.
I don't even know why he re-enlisted. He really
I don't
wanted
know
to
either.
serve, didn't he?
I apparently, like, yeah, I would be all set.
He literally got kicked out for being a jerk and not listening to people and yelling at him about God. And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I want to do that again."
Yeah. And except this time he gets captured and suffers some scurvy and malnutrition.
So he's pretty screwed up at this point.
Like this dude, like not only did he suffer from that mercury poisoning that probably fucked him up, regardless
Yeah.
for life. Not only did that happen, his wife is dead, which probably fucked him up more. Then drinking, so he's also got that. And then he gets captured. He gets kicked out, and then he gets captured. This dude's probably so fucked in the head at this point.
His teeth are falling out.
Assuming he has any more that
Yeah,
can even
if
fall
he even
out.
has any at this point. So, I don't even. Oh, yeah. So, Corbett was a part of the 16th New York Cavalry Regiment. So, he's on horseback. That's kind of cool. Riding horses around, running people over or whatever. Well, April. What was it?
24th.
When was. No, I was asking when Lincoln was assassinated. So, Lincoln died
Oh,
April
that
15th.
was yeah.
Yeah, the morning of April 15th, he finally died after getting shot in the back of the head by John Wilkes. Yeah, John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth shoots him, flees. Now, pretty much the entire army is looking for these couple guys. So, April 24th, 1865, Corbett's unit had got some tips on where John Wilkes Booth might be up at this guy's house. So they go to the guy's house. They're talking to him. And then they're like, "Oh, he's in the barn." So they surround the barn. The landowner that let John Wilkes Booth and I think it's David Harold. Yeah, David Harold, one of the accomplices. They were locked in the barn by the homeowner because the homeowner didn't want them getting out and stealing horses and leaving. They didn't want him. He didn't. The homeowner didn't want them stealing any of his stuff, so he locked them in.
And then they set the fucking barn on fire.
Yep. They had a little standoff, and then they're
Yeah,
like,
I want to know, did that man get any compensation for his barn just getting burned down?
I wish I could tell you, Conlan. Probably not.
Like, probably not. But like, damn, that sucks. Like, you got this dude. You tell these people that this dude's in here. Like, yo, this man just killed the president. I got him for you. And then you just burn his barn down, and then you're like, yeah, thanks for your help.
That barn took me 4 weeks to build. He just
Like,
burned it down in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and also, one thing about Lincoln, that's kind of related to Lincoln. I don't know. It was several months ago. It was during like a rally versus Trump and Biden. Biden called fucking Lincoln one of the most racist presidents to exist.
What?
I'm sitting there. I'm like, excuse me.
He didn't like free.
I'm like.
He didn't.
I'm
Free
like,
the
last I
slaves.
checked, I'm like, I feel like every president before and probably after so far, they probably wouldn't have even tried to do what he did.
Lincoln himself was kind of a mad lad.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Yeah,
was so out of line compared to presidents.
He was a Chad before Chad was cool.
Oh yeah. No, he did stuff that no one was even thinking of.
Yeah, he took some risks for sure.
I mean, he literally got the country to separate because they didn't believe him, and then he beat them.
Yep.
So don't mess with Abe Lincoln. And he's like 6'4".
Yeah, he's a fucking giant.
Yeah, he's very tall.
Not to mention his top hat probably makes him 6'8".
Oh, probably at least. So yeah, they burned the barn down, and as somehow John Wilkes Booth gets out, I think somebody unlocked it, and the accomplice went out, David Harold. He left and got arrested. But John Wilkes Booth was still in it. So then they burn it down. He runs out right as it's on fire. And wouldn't you know it, guess who shot him? Boston Corbett.
You know, there seems to be like a lot of like contradictions as to who actually did kill Booth.
Do you think so?
Yeah, like down here it says eyewitnesses to Booth shooting contradicted what Corbett said. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't actually Corbett, considering how fucking crazy he was.
Yeah. If
Like, there's
you know
easily
what,
so much that he could have seen that was just totally made up in his mind.
he could have like passed out and dreamt that he shot the dude or something.
Yeah.
Well, he might have shot Booth, might not have.
We're never gonna know.
I wish I could tell you. I don't have a time machine, so we can't go back and watch. Although that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
For now,
And even the owner and his son of the farm said that, you know, it wasn't an act of self-defense. That
the dude was running away.
yeah, no. So he like apparently Corbett said that he was, you know, so sorry, I got this wrong. Corbett said that he acted in self-defense, quote unquote.
Oh yeah.
But he never did.
Oh yes, because I think he was like, I thought he was pulling a gun on me and gonna shoot while he was running away.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. And I've had plenty of people say that Booth never even attempted to reach for a gun. He was just hauling ass.
Oh, probably.
I wouldn't blame him. Why would you waste time trying to shoot,
yeah.
especially with those guns?
No, and surrounded by a bunch of soldiers, what are you gonna do? Maybe kill one guy, and then just get mowed down by the rest.
Yeah, it's literally like when fucking John walked out of that barn.
Oh my god.
In RDR.
Yeah. No. That was sad.
I think Arthur's death was even sadder.
Yeah.
Not that you would know.
I pretty much know now. Even though I didn't
Yeah.
play it. So, Corbett sees John running, thinks that he pulled a gun or something, shoots him in the back of the head. I don't think he dies instantly. Like
I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
They pulled John Wilkes Booth over to like the deck of the house, and he says something, and then he dies. So Corbett was noted to say, "What a God we have! God avenged Abraham Lincoln." That is the most Boston Corbett thing he could say. That is... I mean, what else would he say? Of course God killed him. It wasn't Boston.
Oh, dude, yeah, I can't take any of the credit. It was all God.
God pulled
Almighty.
the trigger.
Yeah, obviously.
So, although he shot the guy who killed Lincoln, they weren't supposed to shoot him. They were supposed to capture him.
You know, I feel like this is one incident where, like, he shot him. Like, I feel like more people would have gotten pissed had they arrested Corbett for shooting him.
Yeah. People definitely would have been mad if he got arrested.
Like not even like I feel like majority of the country would have just been pissed by that.
Yeah, I'm sure
they would have been like, praise this man.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted John Wilkes Booth dead. So
rightfully so.
But can you blame the government for wanting him alive?
Yeah, they probably did want to get some answers.
So, I mean, we've kind of been able to fill in the pieces over the years, but it kind of would have been neat if they actually did catch him.
Yeah, could you imagine how different things would be had they captured him? Like, how much more we would probably know.
Oh, yeah, like if he actually, when he broke his leg.
Yeah.
They're not sure when he broke his leg, because he jumped off the stage. He jumped out of Abraham Lincoln's box thing and landed on the stage.
Yeah. Yep.
Some people say he broke his leg there, but he like ran right off the stage. So people don't know.
I do think it's possible that he did just run right off the stage. Honestly, like I feel like when you're like have that much of an adrenaline rush, and after you literally just shot the fucking president, like your ass is about to get fucking tailed. like you're probably just gonna like you're probably not even gonna be thinking about the amount of pain you're in. You're probably just gonna be hauling
Oh
ass
yeah.
from the fucking government.
If he had an adrenaline, he wouldn't have even noticed it. I don't.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
if he
even think
broke
he
his
did.
leg there, he wouldn't have felt it until after.
Yeah.
I think most likely he broke his leg there. There's another theory that I forget what the other theory is, that he broke his leg somewhere else, maybe getting on a horse
Yeah.
or something. But I think
Yeah, that's the big one I've seen.
jumping from a box or booth thing and landing on the
Yeah, and
stage, it's like a 15-foot drop.
yeah, I was gonna say that's not a very and if especially with like I feel like there is a way to like land correctly so that doesn't happen from that high. But when you're hauling ass after just shooting the president, you're probably not gonna think about how you're about to fucking
Yeah,
land.
you're not gonna stop on the edge and be like, okay, so I need to land and push my legs out and
Precise
kind of yeah.
calculations.
No, you
Anybody
just
got a pen and paper?
well, on top of that, he shot the president, and then the other guy that was in the booth or no, tried to attack him, but Booth
Yes.
slashed him with a knife. The
Yes.
military general, or he was like a colonel or
Yep.
something.
Yep. Yep. He was in the box with Lincoln and his wife, and he was with his wife.
Yeah. So I'm
Yep.
sure he wasn't even. He probably slashed the guy and was like, "I better get out of here before he tries to attack
He's
me."
like, not only did I just not only did I just kill the president, I just slashed somebody and fatally not fatally, but severely wounded him. You know,
Yeah, it's time to go.
and obviously this dude's important. He's with Lincoln in a box. Like
Right.
this ain't just some random dude, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's probably just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
So anyway, so they weren't supposed to kill him, which means that Boston Corbett was once again discharged from the military. Second time now.
Hold up. After
Hold up.
that, so he was Lincoln's Avenger, yeah, and he was
Yep.
discharged again. But what? Oh, hold up. This is where I'm reading this one part. This part's
You
interesting.
seeing his new job?
So, oh wait, what's his new job?
In 1887, he was appointed the assistant doorkeeper of the Kansas House of Representatives.
Yes, that's where I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
And on February 15th, he became convinced that the officers of the House were discriminating against him.
Yep.
He jumped to his feet, brandished a revolver, and began chasing the officers out of the building.
That was super
Though
smart.
no one was hurt, he was arrested. But
sure.
the following day, a judge declared him insane and sent him to an asylum. But on May 26, 1888, he escaped from the asylum on horseback. He then rode to somewhere in Kansas, where he briefly stayed with Richard Thatcher, someone he had met when he was a prisoner of war. And then when Corbett left, he told Thatcher he was going to Mexico. But rather than going to Mexico, he goes into a cabin he built randomly in the forest in Hinckley of Minnesota. And he's believed to have died there in one of the fires on September 1st.
Well,
damn.
Yeah.
Though there's no proof that that's where he died. That's just believed to be where he did die.
Spooky.
Interesting.
I find it funny that he got out of the war and they're like, you know what, you just shot the man who killed the president, you're such amazing. You can be the...
Let's make you an assistant doorkeeper.
You're the assistant doorkeeper. Wow, epic.
No, of Kansas, nonetheless. What is there in Kansas? Corn?
The Kansas House of Representatives. Apparently. He didn't even get doorkeeper. He got assistant doorkeeper. What's the assistant doorkeeper do?
He just avenged Lincoln's death, and that's the job he gets.
He was probably mad about that. That's why he started shooting at people.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. What does an assistant doorkeeper do? House of Representatives officer, the doorkeeper was elected, blah, blah, blah. The doorkeeper controlled access to the House chamber. So he literally just controls who can go in and out through a door.
He holds doors all day. That was his job.
That sounds like such a boring job.
As a reward for killing the president's assassin, he got to hold doors.
What year was he put in there?
1887.
1887.
I mean, they couldn't have got him anything cooler. You know, he gets this cool name, Lincoln's Avenger. And then they're
Like,
like, here, you can be a doorkeeper, assistant doorkeeper.
yeah. Like an actual doorkeeper says who can be like allowed in. The assistant doorkeeper probably is the one who's holding the damn door.
Yep. He's like, you can let him in. Boston Corbett's like, oh, okay. Here, you come in, sir.
Oh, someone's here. Hey, can you get the door?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I wonder. I hope he's paid
Actually,
hourly.
actually, it probably wasn't even a question. It's like, yo, get the door. It's your fucking job.
Yeah. Oh, I don't care. You shot the president's assassin. I was kind of a Confederate, so just open the door.
Like, I can't believe that's what he fucking gets. Of course, he goes insane after that, but he was probably insane before
He was there
that.
for like a month. He went there January of 1887, and on February 15th, he was there a month. He's like, now, how are they discriminating against him? They must have been.
Even know.
They must have been Confederates.
And then,
Conlan.
like 2.5, 3 months later, he breaks out of the asylum on horseback. Like, goodbye, I guess. And then, he was never caught. They probably didn't even try.
Honestly, that's kind of a Chad move.
I'm gonna have to agree.
He gets a free job, goes crazy and shoots at people, gets sentenced to an insane asylum, flees it on horseback. That's kind of cool, not gonna lie. Like, picture that, him riding away on horseback while these guys are chasing him, shooting at him, and he's just like, what?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Granted, I don't particularly blame him for wanting to break out of an insane asylum. Those places probably suck ass, especially in the 1888.
Yeah,
That probably really sucks.
he was there for about a year.
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little over a year that he was there for.
About a year. So then he goes to Kansas. He stays with Richard Thatcher, I guess.
He just sits. And then he kind of just sits in the middle of the woods in Minnesota, living his life, I guess.
Do you think he
probably
went to
had
Mexico?
Imaginary friends? No.
I doubt it.
No.
I don't think he went to Mexico.
I think he probably just stayed in Minnesota and was like, yeah, let's live the rest of this life.
He might have thought he was in Mexico, but he wasn't.
Hold up. There was people that said, so though Corbett was already dead, or presumed dead, a bunch of people try to say that they were Corbett, essentially.
Oh, jeez. Of course there were.
And, obviously all of them are proven to not be.
Yeah.
One dude was sentenced to prison for it.
What?
A man, and in September of 1905, another guy was arrested in Dallas to also be claiming to be Corbett.
I didn't think that would be illegal.
Well, you're impersonating a different person.
I guess so.
And he was sentenced to prison, and then he went to this dude that was arrested in Dallas. He was sent to prison, and then he was sent to a government hospital for the insane. Damn.
Funny. They're like, well, if you are Boston Corbett, well, get in. You're going back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Oh.
Imagine just pretending to be Corbett. You go to prison, and then you go to an insane asylum. Like, I bet you really regret doing that.
Yeah. He should have probably planned that out a little better.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm Boston Corbett. Oh, you are? Well, you're coming with me, sir.
Yeah.
You're going to the asylum.
Damn.
Wow. What a guy.
Yeah, I cannot believe that.
So what do you think? Is Boston Corbett a Chad?
No, he's just fucking crazy. This man is just flat out insane.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it. He's just insane.
Yeah, I don't think he was a Chad, because a Chad means to do it. This guy was just crazy.
No, like Lincoln, he was definitely a Chad. This dude, that man gave zero fucks what anybody thought.
That's true.
He was like, if you don't like it, that's too fucking bad. This is what I'm doing. This man just probably did it. Oh, God told me to.
Yeah, God told him to point guns at the other officers in the Kansas House of Representatives.
It's God's work.
It's God's work. I mean,
Yeah. He was just insane. I feel like he should have been sent to an asylum many years before he was actually sent.
he should have gone. He should have. I mean, there were signs. There were signs. These people should have stopped. The church people. I mean, they met him when he was in his worst. Maybe they believed that what they did there could help him in the future.
I don't know, man.
Which it kind of did. He stopped drinking, but then he became this Jesus freak.
You know what? And in some ways, some might think that's even worse.
Yeah. You
And
know
by
what?
some, I mean me.
To all those guys who said they were Boston Corbett, pull down your pants. Let's see. You castrated? Oh my
Facts.
god. Could you imagine if some of those guys were like, I am Boston Corbett? Really? Alright, let's see.
Could you imagine if one of them like actually ever was?
Like, oh, if it was actually Boston Corbett?
But like another thing, like you also gotta remember, like by that point in the early 1900s, this man would have been like 80.
Oh yeah, yeah. I doubt not many people live that long.
Yeah, especially then. Yeah, like well, the average lifespan was probably like 50 years old.
Yeah. I think anyone who tried to impersonate him was silly anyway. I mean, he literally left.
Why out of all people in history would you try to impersonate him?
He disappeared as a lunatic that escaped from an asylum. What do you think people would do if he showed back up?
Yeah, seriously, like what would you expect to happen? You think you'd be welcomed back with open arms?
Right.
Oh, he's back, boys!
Wow.
Let's throw a parade!
Yep. We're so happy to see you, Boston. We missed you.
Though, you know what? I actually, I'm not sure how crazy he was before being a prisoner of war, but if he wasn't crazy then, I guarantee that is right there is what made him crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like that'd make any person crazy.
You're not wrong.
Like, you could find the most sane person on the planet, make them a prisoner of war for like a few months, guarantee right after they're gonna go crazy.
Oh, I probably did screw
Like
him
you're
up.
suffering from all these diseases that are probably fucking with your mind already as is. You probably feel like complete and utter shit. You probably want to die. And then you return to things kind of like normal, but you still got all that shit that happened.
Yeah, it doesn't help that he had all those past issues, scurvy and the something
Malnutrition.
from the mercury. I mean,
Yeah, like I feel like I really feel like if he was not that insane before being a prisoner of war, being a prisoner of war was what just fucking sent him over the edge.
yeah,
Because
I
I mean, you look at that like in any war, like World War II, anybody who's a prisoner of war, like if you were a prisoner of war and you were captured by Japan,
oh, have fun. Yeah,
you were fucked.
you're probably gonna die.
Yeah, and if you lived, you would probably rather die no matter what.
Yeah, those ones that I forget what island it was. The one that when George H.W. Bush was in the military and they were doing bombing runs, they were eating people.
Yeah,
They were eating American prisoners. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah, like, that was fucked up.
Yeah, they were
Japan getting nuked. I've seen so many people not agree with that, but like, I feel like out of all the countries besides Germany, maybe besides Germany, I actually could argue in some ways maybe Japan was worse than Germany.
Oh, yeah. No, you're not wrong.
I could argue in some ways that maybe Japan was even worse.
In some of the books I've read from World War II, they did stuff that Germans would never even think of doing.
You know what? And like in the Germans, like for the most part, they probably didn't give a shit about anybody who wasn't Jewish. Unless you were Jewish, you probably just existed.
Oh yeah, I mean if you were like a Croatian person that was in like an occupied country, I mean it's like, oh wow, the Germans are here.
I'm not gonna say that you're 100% safe, but like if you put an American soldier in front of a German and you get captured by Germany, and then you put another American soldier and they get captured by Japan. I'm just saying, the one that was captured by Germany is probably going to be a lot better off than the one that was captured by Japan.
Oh yeah, probably. I remember
Like,
reading about like late war prisoners of war in Japan, and the one Japanese guy, he would hear the planes flying overhead, the American fighters, and he'd be like, "Oh, that one sounds different." And then he'd go find some Americans that were in the camp, and he'd be like, "Hey, what's that?" And the Americans would be like, "Oh, we got a new plane." Or like they have a new engine now, and he would know that. He didn't even care about the war anymore. He was just listening to the American planes flying overhead. It was kind of crazy.
yeah, a lot of the Japanese soldiers, when they would capture any women, like of virtually any age, the only thing they ever wanted to do was fuck them.
Oh, really?
Like they would do it to like 11-year-olds.
That's terrible.
Like, yeah, like these 11-year-old kids, nothing to do with the war. They probably don't even know what the fuck's going on. And they're like, yeah, I'm having sex with you.
Yeah,
I'm 40 years old. You're
you're
11. Seems fine with me.
you're getting raped.
And then I'm pretty sure a lot of times they just kill them right after.
Oh, probably.
They'd probably be like, yep, that was fun. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I think we kind of gone off topic a little bit. Well, we're kind of
A
something
little.
a little bit. That's all right though. We're about 50 minutes in, so remember we promised to stay under an hour. Remember when we promised that like 10 years ago?
No,
Me neither, but I'm pretty sure that's something we said.
probably.
So, all right. I mean, Boston Corbett, that was quite the character. If you guys want to see me do more interesting characters in history, I can probably find some more just like this guy that we can talk about. There's plenty of people. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you like the video, consider resubscribing if you're one of the people who unsubscribed. Again, I don't blame you, but we're gonna start putting out more videos. I put out one this week.
Hey,
Uh,
and it isn't just going to be podcasts anymore.
yeah, I've
Who knows?
got some
Maybe
other
we'll do
stuff planned.
gaming.
I was thinking about doing that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, gang. We'll see you next time.